It's fanfic time! Get ready.
But the night was quiet and a chilly breeze passed through the air. Everything was as it should have been on the school grounds. But if someone were to listen very closely near the rose bushes at the school's entrance, they would hear the contact of wet flesh and the ever so timid moans of a mare enjoying herself. If someone were to go further and sneak a peek to why said mare was moaning, then they would quickly notice the male stallion she was with. Someone would also notice that both ponies were wearing school uniforms thanks to school regulations, and considering how they just left the school thanks to being in after-school meetings, they were still clothed. Did they say school enough times in that paragraph?
Spyro, the dazzling feminine... Spyro, the dazzling feminine Pegasus, continued to moan softly as she rode the stallion underneath her. Fearing that someone would walk by and hear the students engaging in sex, Spyro tried to keep her moans to a minimum, knowing no doubt such an event would be... Such an event would be talking about it for quite some time. She didn't want the level of notoriety?
Our English isn't good enough for this. It isn't. They're too smart for us. They wrote too well. We're used to reading. And then Rainbow Dash stuck her dick and Derpy's muffin and
Fact of the day.
That's what all your fanfics are.
Oh my god.
Notorious. I had the word right there, but here we go with Spyro with his jokes, and my brain can't. Screw the word. I don't care about the word. But at the same time, she needed to get off. Thankfully, with it being the beginning of the school year, Spyro wasn't worried about being in heat, but rather the effects of growing hormones in her system. She was horny. Plain and simple. And thankfully, she had her hooves on a mare just as horny as she was. Oh my god!
Jesus, your turn.
Oh god, okay. Still riding Kai's erection, Spyro looked at the stallion's face, nearly hidden by the shadows. Nothing really mattered to her at that moment other than getting off. How you doing so far? Spyro asked, sweaty from the constant moving of his body. I'm well, Kai replied, his eyes well adjusted to the darkness around him, allowing him to watch the act of penetration repeating over and over. How about you?
Still nervous that we will get caught, she replied as she stopped moving and took a second to look over the rose bushes. Don't worry, he replied as he moved one hoof forward and gently rubbed the little patch of extra hair about Spyro's pussy. No one is here this late. Still nervous, Spyro was about to look away from the scenery, but then the sudden hooting of an owl made her panic for a second. God damn it, Owlicious is a pervert, I knew it. It's just an owl, Spy, Kai replied. His eyes staying on her parted slit. Just keep going.
Calming down, Spyro silently agreed and took a deep breath before she gave her white schoolgirl blouse a tug so it no longer stuck to her coat, though she would have rather taken the garment off. Spyro kept most of her uniform on during the sex. Be it the reading glasses, glasses.
I wear glasses in real life. I'm not lying.
Oh my god. Okay, this fanfic writer is stalking us.
I mean, even the lines from you sound like stuff like you would actually say. Just like, I'm well. Just all bland, I'm well.
Be it the reading glasses she recently got, or even the purple laced panties her previous boyfriend bought her. Wow. The only thing that was off on her was the gray skirt she had tossed to the side in order to not get it stained with cum. A sudden slap from Kai's hoof against her rump made Spyro let out a soft moan, and she even felt his other hoof move to the lace of her panties, and knew he was moving more of the fabric away from it.
Not so loud, you goof, Spyro hissed at him as she sat, with his full erection inside of her. Sorry, but it's hard to control myself with a mare as hot as you, the stallion replied in a carefree manner, round his hips against Spyro, causing her to long for the feeling of his cock thrusting into her.
Oh god. Alright, let's just get this over with. Here...
Red dwarf.
Here. Such a dork, she replied in a harsh manner, but calmed down as the stallion moved himself away from her panties and slowly moved them up to her... Why? Just...
Dude, story trusty conflict.
It knows what I like. Through the darkness, Spyro saw the stallion smirk and was about to start bouncing again, but a sudden buck from him caused her to jump up silently, quickly following up with his actions. The stallion started to take over and thrusted upward repeatedly in order to get off quicker.
Try not to make noise, Spyro stammered out as she stayed in place, worried the sound of wet flesh slapping together would alert someone. Don't worry, he spoke back as he braced his back leg and slowly moved his rear up so his ass wasn't hitting the ground as he pulled out. That's good, Spyro moaned. Out softly, she felt him move, causing his penis to go in further, and she even found his pace perfect.
The only thing she had to keep in place was her glasses. Well, that's amazing. The glasses are still on.
Mine fell off when I'm walking.
The only reason she was even wearing them was for the ending she had planned. Oh, part of it was mostly for her stallion, or rather his fetish for— damn it!
God, you actually have a fetish for girls with glasses? It's okay, only all of YouTube will know.
Only all of YouTube would know who's watching this video.
Only about
10,000 people will know, Kai. It's okay.
Yeah, this person is spying. This number one stalker for both Spyro and me. 2015. Or rather, his fetish for mares that had glasses. But part of it was also a fetish for her. Getting a cum shot in her face and coating the lenses of her glasses it's the fetish both of them shared, and one of the things that brought them together. Yet, as much as both of them craved it, both of them wanted to make the sex last as long as they could.
What's gonna be the thumbnail for this?
I don't know, just both our OCs. I don't know, something.
If you put a dildo between our OCs, I swear to God, I will go to Japan and smack you.
Oh my god. Okay, his thrusting was moderate, and he had enough power behind him to deliver great amounts of satisfaction, but they were slow enough for them to enjoy everything. Be it the tightness of Spyro's body, or even the thickness of the styles. Oh god, this is deep in description. Both ponies enjoyed it, and though they were getting tired and their uniforms getting sticky, they... What? Why? They kept going. Fortunately, it got to the point where Spyro's back legs were getting wobbly, and quickly putting both her hooves against the shirt that the stallion was wearing, she was able to brace herself better. She would periodically run her hooves down him, and even put her hooves under his shirt just to feel his chest and even the patch of fluffy hair resting in the middle of it. She would even coo and moan a bit louder just for him to hear. And though she worried about being caught, eventually the fear subsided, and all she wanted to do was bask in the sex.
Yep.
Bask in the sex. Oh god. Can we switch positions? Spyro asked. A sudden chilly breeze blew past her and thus made her want to get closer to his body. Can you mount and rut me? Oh god. So Kai wanted to stay like he was. He knew not to say no to her. With a nod of his head, Spyro quickly pulled herself off his erection, and as the flared tip exited her body, she shuddered as her wet and exposed flesh shone in the moonlight for a few seconds. Quickly turning her body around, Spyro felt her skirt under her hooves and quickly tossed it to the side so it wasn't under her. At the time, she even wanted to remove her panties, but as she turned her rump to the now standing stallion, he himself quickly moved his face forward to her rear.
Ah, don't surprise me like that, she warned, but quickly quieted down as her stallion used his teeth to pull away her panties, before he brought his hooves up and pulled them down fully. Oh, you know you love this, the stallion replied as he moved his hooves between her legs and spread them so he had more room. And I know you love this more. For a brief second, there was no sound, but as the stallion moved his face closer and opened his mouth, Spyro let out a loud moan before she forced herself to stay quiet. What caused her to moan was the stallion's placing his tongue against her clitoris and playfully wiggling it. Her body couldn't help but react in such a simulation. Damn it, you know I get loud when you use your tongue, Spyro whispered loudly as she cringed her head up and looked around. Just relax, babe, the stallion replied as he repeated the motion. Ah, fuck! She cursed as her body tensed up, and for a brief moment she greatly enjoyed the wiggly muscles moving against her most sensitive organ. I want it, but I'm too loud like this. That's some great grammar.
I know.
The stallion replied by sucking hard on her clit and letting it go with a loud pop. The action made her tense up and bite her lip, but she knew that her stallion would last much longer if he playfully nibbled and toyed with her clit. All it took was a skillful tongue and a constant torrent of licks and kisses against her clitoris, and add in him playfully lapping at her trembling slit, and Spyro was turning into a proper bedroom man. Our question is right as motivation.
I feel like they were sitting there coughing to this.
It all came from a dream.
It probably did.
Now I'm just curious whether or not if you're literally a female Spyro, that This is pretty
I
ironic.
am.
Unable to control herself, Spyro felt her eyes water up, and her voice started to crack as the pleasure continued to play out, patiently licking and biding his time while gently stroking his erection and keeping himself hard. He drove Spyro to the point where she was about to come, but he stopped. Now, I'll mount you! The stallion spoke in a sly manner as the panting Spyro looked over her shoulder and gave him a pleading look.
Though she wanted more, Spyro felt her body shudder with excitement as the stallion pulled himself up and quickly moved his body over hers. As both bodies connected and both their school attire came into contact, Spyro felt the stallion's hot breath beating against her neck. As he fidgeted about and tried to line his erection up in the darkness, Spyro made sure she cooed and rubbed her cheek against his in an affectionate manner. How would that happen with both of our wings? We're both Pegasi. How would the wings allow that? Wouldn't that hurt?
I don't know. I've seen Fluttershy use her wings as fingers, so
You've seen.
yeah, in the actual show, she actually peels them with her actual
Yeah, she
wings.
does.
Okay,
All
now I
thanks to Lord Smooth. The stallion returned her affection with a quick kiss before he finally lined himself up and went back to work. Spyro moaned loudly as the full length of his erection slammed into her, and for a second she was sure she had came on the spot. Thankfully she didn't, and the stallion quickly wasted no time in rutting her. Both ponies could hear the slapping of wet flesh under them. This time they both didn't care if they made any more noise, and in fact Spyro got even louder for him. With her low to the ground and unable to look up, she knew she couldn't remain nervous. Instead... Oh god damn it, went down too far. It took the stallion's dicking as best she could, even moving one hoof back and pulling her pussy to the side as he rammed it. Spyro continued to moan and wondered how much longer he would last.
How close are you? Spyro asked, hoping she would come before he did. Of course, she already knew the answer to how close he was, thanks to how well she knew him. She was able to detect signs in his body, be it the jerkiness of his thrusts or the way he groaned. Spyro knew she was going to finish first. Not close enough. The stallion groaned as he took a step forward and buried his full erection inside her. This is just deep in this. Why?
Going from well-paced thrusts to very jerky ones, Spyro found his erection not pulling out as much, but found his thrust going fast enough to get her off. As his balls repeatedly slapped against her body, loud enough to rival her moaning. Ow.
Damn, them some loud balls.
Spyro closed her eyes as she felt her orgasm starting to peak. Almost there. Just a bit more. She moaned as her tired body started to tighten up. Make sure you pull out before you finish though. The stallion grunted in return, and somehow he went even faster than he was going before. He knew what would happen if he pulled out, and it would end with him standing on his hind legs and jerking himself.
Lyra's best friend. You're Lyra's best friend. You're standing on your hind legs.
Yes. Jerking himself in front of the mirror with a mouth wide open and a pair of glasses covering her eyes. He longed for the money shot, and just the thought made him hornier, but he needed Spyro to get off quickly. Thankfully, Spyro's moans grew more erratic. I think I'm saying that right. Yeah, I'm saying it right. Erratic, and she was even moaning in tune with his spastic thrusting. Wow, spastic? Letting out a sudden carnal moan, the stallion stopped moving so fast and felt her insides tighten around his dick. As she came on his erection, the stallion returned to a slow moving pace in order for Spyro to enjoy the sensation a bit more, even giving her a kiss on the cheek to make the act less about sex and more about romance. Both quietly ground against each other until her orgasm died down. Once it did, the stallion went back to thrusting wildly in hopes for his own orgasm to play out. As he resumed his pace, Spyro could feel the tightness of his balls as they slapped awkwardly against her leg. On top of that, she even knew that some of her own cum was running down her leg and no doubt coming in contact with his balls at the same time. If it wasn't his balls that her cum was touching, it was rolling down her inner thigh and quickly making its way to her pulled down panties. With the rocking of both their bodies and spittles of cum dripping from Spyro, she knew her favorite pair of panties were going to get cum soaked and hard to wear. She didn't care if it bothered her, but she did find it kinky trying to walk around with someone's semen in her panties around school during the day. Just the idea of doing what she does best without anyone even batting an eye started to make her even more horny. How horny can these characters get?
Yet, even with her getting horny, she knew the stallion was nearing his finish. With how hard the stallion's balls were slapping against her, Spyro could hear the stallion grunting as he closed his eyes, gritted his teeth, and even felt him push down harder on her body as he moved. Though she was getting pushed down a bit, Spyro knew that he was going to pull out any second. She could feel his erection trembling and starting to surge with speed. And just as that feeling registered, the stallion pulled out. Though a bit sore from getting dicked like she was, Spyro quickly turned around and found Kai already on his hind legs and stroking his erection wildly in front of her. Moving her face close to it, she straightened her glasses and opened her mouth to receive the cum shot. It didn't take him long, and with a loud grunt, the stallion let out his seed. The first volley missed her face completely, and it whizzed over her mane before it landed on an unseeable spot in the grass. The second spurt thankfully found its way onto her face and hit where it was supposed to, with a line of cum on the left lens of her glasses. The rest of the stallion's seed either found its way onto her muzzle or even her open mouth as the salty and tangy semen landed in her mouth. Spyro did her best not to spit it out till he finished. Oh gods, that was amazing, Kai sighed as he looked down at her and saw the labor of his hard work coating her glasses and nearly dripping from her chin. Man, I love it when you do this. Jesus, you finish up.
Okay. I know what you like, Spyro chuckled as he swallowed what was in her mouth and watched her stallion sit on the ground. But I'd rather not do this in public again. Wait, wasn't this in the night though?
I can't tell if it was morning or nighttime anymore, because it kept first said moonlight, then it said school campus, it was still day. I can't.
Maybe you just had sex that long, from after school till night.
Okay, but it's fun making you moan like a Phillian heat out in the open. The stallion chuckled back at Spyro, pulled a napkin out of her blouse breast pocket and started to clean her glasses. Maybe then I should get my strap on.
Oh my god! It's going that direction.
Oh god, and fuck you in public just so you get to be nervous like I was. Spyro replied back as saw the stallion's expression turn over as soon as her strap-on was mentioned. Maybe we should stick to having sex in that old clubhouse of yours. Or we could go under the school bleachers like that one time. The stallion replied as he started to picture a fond memory.
Yeah, and get caught by Sweetie Belle again? I'd rather not. Can't believe you got me to have sex with you under the gym bleachers while another class was in the gym. You know, I like my sex kinky. He told her.
Oh, Kai, my muffin hole.
He told her as he moved closer and snuggled against her, and I know you secretly enjoyed it. Blushing as he playfully nibbled at her ear, Spyro quickly regained herself, okay, and pushed him to the ground. Yeah, whatever you say, she told him as she pulled herself off and started to collect her things. We can save this talk for another night. Okay, it's nighttime. Wanna wash up quickly in the fountain? People drink from there. And then walk me home? Only if you let me stay over, of course. Doesn't feel right to sleep in a bed alone without my favorite mayor, the stallion replied as he pulled himself up and started to look for his school pants he discarded some time ago. You're lucky it's Friday and my mom or my mom would say no to you, Spyro replied as she pulled her wet panties up and quickly put her skirt back on before she started walking. Heh, at least you can help me with my calculus homework now. Oh yeah, because I love freaking math. Yes, I forget about I love math. As she began to trot away, Spyro supposedly swayed her hips in an inviting manner and looked over her shoulder at the same time. Doing so made Kai quickly get redressed and join her at her side before they began to trot towards a nearby school fountain.
Oh god, please, no fan art, please.
You know, by you just saying, ooh, no fan art, that means, in translation, please make fanfics and more pictures and fan art.
Well, why don't your subscribers do what you say? If you say no fan art, that should mean no fan art.
No fan art, guys.
Okay, just imagine how many comments are going to have links to fan art about this. Just imagine how many comments are going to be flowing in.
Probably about 2 or 3.
Yeah. Kai has like 10,000 subscribers, but gets like 5 comments on each video.
I say a lot of YouTubers get that, which kind of sad.
I know. It's like you see someone with like 5-6 million subscribers and they just have
10,000
like,
views.
10,000 views and like 2,000 comments.
And they're all just debates and people arguing.
I know.
I'm just somewhat glad that this wasn't something like Rainbow's problem. That I think that's what's...
Thanks for mentioning that, because Spyro sent me a link to a certain fanfic called, what's it called? Oh my god, what was it called? Oh, Rainbow Dash Eats Brownie.
Oh yeah, we need to read that too. That's awesome.
Oh god.
Oh, and Kai, if you... Oh yeah, I have another fanfic. It's about where Princess Luna brings back some of the more adult things during the night, like a tentacle rodeo, and the main 6 participate in it.
Oh god.
Thanks for watching.